Welcome to another episode of OnsideSA. Well, we're starting our last one standing this weekend, 3rd of April it starts. And Budge, there's 20 left in the other one.
20 left the previous one, Paul, yeah. So pressure time.
Pressure time. Just having a look at the list as you've drawn out. Sean Matthews out of Surname, still got 3 picks out of the 20. That's strong.
Sean said to me, go big or go home, Paul. That's his motto. So we'll see.
He might be saying that on Tuesday.
Yeah, going well.
Sean Singleton, the legend, down to 2 picks. I tipped him from the jump and he's still there. Leading lady, Raquel Quinta, still going strong.
Done well, Paul.
That's fantastic. And she's managed to hang tough. It's normally Renee and
Russ and
they're the ones who seem to get it right. Just to run through the other entrants for you. Hassan Maul, another player who's always involved. Gavin Wright from out of province. Joe Soma, the humble hero.
Yeah, Joey.
He's still there. Bruce Armstrong, the lawyer, well done to him. Kevin Rice, my mate, from down Belito way. Dean Moody, he's Gold Circle.
Gold Circle employee.
Appy Fraser, eh?
Can you believe it? Fowler's still in.
Fowler's still in. Aaron Marino.
Yeah, Aaron's Cape Townian. Yeah.
Cape Townian. Swingbank, UK.
Nigel, is a Man United contact.
Yeah. Graham Hawkins, whoa, he's going well. Rodney van
Rensburg.
Coca-Cola, yeah.
It's been ably assisted of what I've been informed, but anyway, he's still going.
He's still going. Des Furry, one of the Furry clans, always involved.
They're always
it's only
involved.
Marcus Capellas, but Des is the man. Peter Barker.
It's a Hollywood man, Peter.
Good Spurs man.
Tottenham loyalist.
Sean Phillips, the champ.
Reigning champ, still hanging in, Paul.
Sure. That's fantastic. It's always great for bragging rights, but I'm still with Singleton, Sean Singleton. Stevie B's in the studio in London. Change of weather there, Steve.
Yeah, we've had 3 glorious. In fact, Tuesday was the hottest March day for 50 years. And now they're saying that the weekend, parts of the country will get snow. So it's
not an April Fool's joke, Steve.
I hope not, but yeah.
Okie dokie, that sounds good. Let's talk about the home nations, Steve. They've had results, and Mitrovic has got to be high. Never mind home nations, Mitrovic.
Yeah, your man's back.
Yeah, well, look, listen, he's for a long time it looks like he hasn't been that fit or playing with a lot of confidence. But obviously putting the shirt of Serbia back on has done him the world of good. He was dropped for the first...
Against Ireland,
Against Ireland, came on, scored 2 cracking goals, and hasn't looked back. Top scorer in the European qualifiers with 5 goals in 2.5 games. So, I'd like to think that providing he comes back fit and healthy, he will start for us at Villa.
Yeah, I think he's been ably assisted by Dusan Tadic, the Ajax and former Southampton player. He's a good player, Steve.
Good player.
Yeah, no, I like Tadic. He's got a good left foot. So, look, I think at the end of the day, we need goals and we need Mitrovic to start scoring for us. So hopefully Scott Parker and his coaches would have seen that and play to his strengths, because I think that we have to start, we've got to start winning games, but we have to score goals, and that's been our problem. We've been keeping things very tight, but we're now at the business end of the season, and we need to get a few wins from somewhere.
Yeah. Talking about getting a few wins, I watched a little bit of the Wales, the Czech Republic. The smallest guy in the Premiership, without any shadow of doubt, is Daniel James from Man United. He scored a header at the far post.
No, but isn't it
you wouldn't have expected that, because it's not the sort of position that he certainly gets himself in for United. Yeah. And it was a good cross from Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
But I thought at the beginning, I thought the Czech Republic looked as if they were going to steamroller Wales. They looked very good. But big result, because neither of those teams are going to win the group, and it's all about who can finish second. So let's give them Wales a good chance. And I think there'll be, I think between those two. But the Czech Republic is starting.
Nice side,
they did quite well. They held Belgium. So I think they're going to be a tough team.
I wanted to ask you, I always thought that guy, is it Bernard for Everton?
Yeah,
he's the smallest guy in the league.
Daniel James can't be much.
Can't be much in it.
Can't be much in it. They both.
He's tiny. That Brazilian.
He's Brazilian winger. Yeah.
He's a superb player, but he gets. You think he goes up against these monsters.
Yeah. That Daniel James, I couldn't believe it when I wasn't watching the game, but I had the game on this, and when it flashed goal, I turned over. So he'll be crowing, no doubt.
You changed channels or you turned over?
Turned over. Steve, England comfortable until the Stones mistake last night?
Yeah, look, I mean, the first half it was pretty comfortable. With England, you always feel like they need a second, but it was, sadly, that was a typical sort of John Stones type error. I mean, he was prone to those, and it's why he was dropped. There are times when you just want your centre half to put the ball into Rose Ed, and that's what he probably should have done. And actually, I thought it was a very average performance from England overall. Thankfully, they got the win because at the end of the day, it's the result that counts, and they're in a good position. But I think they just lacked a lot of creativity, particularly the second half.
Stevie, you never put very in front of average or moderate. Golden rule of English. Please, I don't want to hear that again, Steve.
Except when you're watching England play. It was very average.
I wanted to ask you, I only caught the end of it because I had to fly in from Joburg. But what I watched, I thought England looked good.
Steve, how I look at it, I just don't think they've got the right balance. They haven't played together. Sterling gets the ball one-on-one with a fullback and Chilwell goes on the overlap and then Mount runs in behind. I just think it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle at the moment where a lot of those better teams, everybody knows the zones where they've got to play in. With England, Foden gets the ball, he's one-on-one with the left back and Walker comes screaming round with him. If he doesn't play him the ball, he goes off his head. So, a lot of work to do, but I just don't like what I see, to be honest, with England, even though they are winning.
Something. I mean, I don't think he's got. He's without one or two key players. I think they would probably be back in, but they've got a couple of game friendlies in June before the Euros start, and that's going to be a good test. I don't think. I think a lot of the bookies have got us as one of the favourites, but I don't see that. I can't see.
He always seems to get a result. He always gets a result.
Steve, you cannot win it with those two centre halves and the goalkeeper.
The fridge.
No chance.
He looked a little bit. Nick Pope looked a little bit shaky, and he certainly
just a lot better than that.
Feet. So, at one point everyone was saying that we had a surplus of really good goalkeepers, but we don't seem to have one. Pickford. People we know has his issues, so we really could do with one of the goalkeepers coming through and staking the claim as the regular number one again.
Yeah, Steve, Scotland 4, Faroe Islands 0. They've had a good start to the competition.
Yeah, that was a good result for them. And the Faroes are obviously not going to qualify, but they can make things tough. They got a good draw in Israel, Scotland.
Yes.
That was a key game because they don't normally do well there. So I think that. Again, they're not going to win that group, but I think that Scotland have a good chance of finishing second to Denmark.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question. So they haven't lost yet.
Scotland,
they've had 3 games. Scotland have got 5 points.
Yeah, they drew 2-2 with Austria. McGinn's bicycle kick got them out of it. Drew with Israel, and then they beat the Faroe Islands. They've got Denmark to play, but Scotland against the top nations always give them a game.
Yeah.
They'll be fired up for Ericsson and co. But they do look the class act in the group. Steve, the 2 islands, no chance.
No chance. I mean, the Republic, to lose at home to Luxembourg, who actually have accredited themselves quite well
against Portugal.
That was a shocking result. And I think when you look at that group, there's no chance for them. I mean, it's going to be Portugal 1 and Serbia 2, I would imagine.
Yeah, Northern Ireland.
Anybody else challenging those 2?
Yeah, Northern Ireland drawing at home with Bulgaria.
Yeah, I mean, again, they got a toughest group, and Bulgaria are not a strong team, and that was a game they probably wanted to win. But I can't see Northern Ireland coming anywhere near the top 2.
Yeah, they got the wrong Lafferty up front.
Yeah, they got the wrong Lafferty up front. Jeez, Carl, keep us going, Carl. Stick a few in.
Anyway, Steve, on to Premiership. We're back in. The Championship is on Friday, but Premiership kicks off.
Can I just come in here, Budge?
Sure.
What these games he's going to preview, remember, a lot of people can listen to, so get it right for their selections for the last one. Steady,
nice.
Get it right, Stevie. We need you to get it right. The boys are listening to you.
Steve, the crucial game for a lot of people in the last one standing competition is Leeds United at home against Sheffield. How do you see it?
Look, on paper, and you would expect Leeds to win that. I'm going to say comfortably, but I think they're expected to win that.
Yeah.
Sheffield United, obviously a lot of upheaval with Chris Wilder going. They haven't shown anything in recent games. Leeds played to be fair, in their last game, they played very well in the second half at Fulham. I would be very surprised if it's not anything but at least a 2-goal win for Leeds there.
Okay, now one of the big games of the weekend is Leicester hosting Man City. Remember, Leicester beat them 5-2 at the Etihad. Any chance for another upset?
Yeah, I think there is, but I'm not. I don't think there will be. I think Leicester generally are not quite as strong at home. Obviously, their last home game when they beat Sheffield United very comfortably. But City, as we know, apart from that blip against United, is no stopping them. And I think that they would want to get their revenge for that result. And if Harvey Barnes is still out, I like Leicester. I think they play some lovely football. But I think City, if all their players are firing, I think they'll be too strong.
Okay, big game. Arsenal versus Liverpool.
This should be a great game.
Should be.
Yeah, no, very much so. And I think this is, for the teams that are chasing the top four, and certainly want to, let's say even if these two won't quite make it, they certainly want to guarantee a Europa place. I think that I like the way Arsenal have been playing recently. I think that this will be an interesting game, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if Arsenal definitely get something out of this game.
Okay, talking of getting something out of the game, your Fulham boys, can you get something out of the game against Aston Villa?
Well, I think they have to. Look, we're 8 unbeaten away. It's not an easy place to go. Jack Grealish will be is back evidently and fit. John McGinn after his exploits for Scotland. I think it will be a tough game. I think I'd probably take a point on the basis that we just got to keep picking up points. Anything more than that would be a bonus.
Who's the other boy who plays in the midfield? Came from Chelsea, used to play for England.
Is that David Luiz?
Yeah,
no, Barclay's gone, yeah.
Who?
Well, Barclay's there, but he's been on the bench. Ross Barkley.
Yes.
Yeah, Barkley, he's not really been setting the world alight, and the rumour is that Villa have got no interest in paying Chelsea a lot of money for him.
Okay.
So, but Villa have actually had a very mixed last couple of months. I know they've been without Grealish for a bit of time, but they haven't won many games when you look at their records. So, this is the game that we have to look. We've got 8 games left. We have to look to get something from this game.
Yeah, definitely.
Steve, a funny game, but I've got I fancy a team. Southampton, Burnley. How do you see that going?
Yeah, I mean, again, look, Southampton are probably going to be safe, but they haven't exactly had a particularly good record recently. Yeah. And Burnley, as we know, are going to be safe now. Hard to beat. You could probably go for all 3 results with this one. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Burnley hold them.
All right, Steve, you've got 5 people that can still use Man United in the last one standing. Would you use them against Brighton if you had the opportunity?
Yeah, I think I would. I think there's going to be a low-scoring game. I mean, Brighton have a couple of good results, got themselves away from the sort of bottom few now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if United just edge that, but I think it's going to be one of those games that if they do, it'll probably be by sort of 1-0 or 2-1 or something.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's going to
Steve, on to the Championship, which is obviously Friday, Monday for the Championship this weekend.
Yeah.
So they start tomorrow?
Yep, Friday game, so there's all 4 o'clock. Cardiff City at home against Notts Forest. How do you see it?
I think Cardiff should be too strong. I mean, they had a good win at Swansea. It's a big result for them, and they're going to feel that they're not totally adrift of a playoff place. Forest very up and down.
Yeah.
I think they're safe from relegation, but they need a few more points definitely. So I think it'll be close, but I think Cardiff are going to want to try and win that one. I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Okay, Millwall versus Rotherham.
Yeah, I think Millwall should be too strong. Rotherham surprised a lot of people recently with a good win, but I think Millwall will probably just be a little bit too strong at home.
Okay, Queen's Park Rangers at home against Coventry City. How do you see it?
Yeah, I like Coventry. I think they play well their game, but I think, again, QPR has just been picking up recently, and I think they'll be too strong for Coventry.
Okay, can Birmingham City upset Swansea City?
I'd be surprised if they did, but then, with Swansea have let us down a couple of times with their predictions. I think after their defeat to Cardiff, I think that they're going to want to, to consolidate their place in the playoff places, certainly. I think Swansea will go there and will I can't see Birmingham winning, but it's possible they could hold Swansea.
Yeah, they've lost their last 2 Swansea, and I win both teams to score in the local the Welsh derby. Yeah. They were terrible against Cardiff. I just couldn't believe how they got bullied, but the break could be the best thing for them. And last but not least, it's a Saturday lunchtime kickoff. We've got it in our exotics. Huddersfield Town against Brentford.
Well, you'd expect expect Brentford to go there and get a result. They've been a little bit up and down recently, as we know, dropping points. At one point they looked like they were nailed on to finish in the top two, but they've fallen adrift a little bit of Watford. Huddersfield are an unpredictable side. I mean, again, we've looked to bet against them, and they've surprised us. I think it will be close, though. Again, these teams have had a little break. I think it's been good for some of the smaller clubs without sort of too many international players. So I think it will be close. I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford do edge it, but don't write Huddersfield off for getting a point against them.
Okay, Steve, pressure time again. Need your best bet and your best value bet, please.
Yeah, I think for my best, I'm going to go for Bournemouth. I think that they've just started to pick up in the league. I think Middlesbrough are very up and down, not so strong away. I fancy Bournemouth to win that one as my best bet. My value bet, I'm going to be maybe a little bit controversial. I'm going to go for Arsenal. I think that I don't see Liverpool as clear favourites. I think the way they've been playing, and I think Arsenal will give them a good game.
All right, Steve.
Just quickly in the Championship, I want to put Steve in the corner. He's very good in the corner. You've seen what Arsenal saying. Just talking about the Championship, how many games would there be left?
Well, they play 46. I think there's about...
They're playing 38 now.
So there's 8 games.
8 games, they're very similar.
Their season, they play 2 over this weekend, but their season finishes the week before the Premier League.
Okay,
so,
we've got...
there's a few games left, and... it's close. It's close.
I wanted your opinion, Steve. Norwich have got 83 points. Watford have got 75. They look clear, but then Swansea's 37 games, 69. So they could go to 72, and Brentford could go to 71. The rest can't. There's only those 2 places that come out. They look sort of nailed down.
Somehow, I can't see Swansea getting enough points to finish in the top 2. I think they're going to be a strong playoff contender. To me, it's Norwich 1 and either Watford or Brentford 2. But Watford are making themselves hard to beat and getting results. So I think it's in Watford's hands at the moment.
Okay. All right, Stevie, I just wanted your call on that. Thank you.
And Steve, don't forget, last one standing this weekend. Just WhatsApp me your pick, please. Anybody but Spurs.
I would love to go on Spurs especially to win at Newcastle, but I don't want to jinx it. So Paul, I'm expecting Harry Kane and the boys to come strong for me. I
wonder when Song's coming back. That'll be interesting. But we've got enough players. Stevie, as usual, thanks very much, and dress up warmly.
Yeah, need to. All right.
All the best, Steve.
All the best, Steve. Bye. There we go. Bye. There's Stevie Bram, international pundit and a voice from the UK. He always knows his stuff, but he comes through. And did he make his value bet Arsenal?
Arsenal beat Liverpool. Paul, 22 to 10, I think it is. So there's nothing wrong with that price.
It'll be a hell of a game. This is
it's always a good game.
To me, it's a bit of a turning point for Arsenal, Budge, for Liverpool. They want to get back into that scrum.
Well, they have to.
They have to
they play Real Madrid in midweek, Champions League. Oh. So they've got to get a result to get the momentum going. Won't be easy.
All right, give me your thoughts now, Budge, on the Premier League. Let's start with the first board that comes up. Tell me what you think here, Budge. I think it's Chelsea. Chelsea at home, West Brom. Certainties. 1-4.
I saw a certain last night. I backed the Germans to score over 2.5 goals. It was 1-1. Midfield player that plays for Man City, Gundogan, rolled one square to Timo Werner. It was harder to miss, Paul, and he scuffed it. I don't know if he's going to start, but even if he doesn't start, 1-4 Chelsea.
The Germans got beat.
The Germans got beat by North Macedonia.
Who was the last team to beat them in the qualifier?
England?
Yeah, very good.
And you know where I watched it?
5-1.
I watched it at your place.
So
and Germany scored first.
Yeah, obviously. I remember the game that Germany beat England. Didi Hamann.
Yeah, that was the last game at Wembley.
That's right, correct. Okay, good. But your penthouse is still working. Chelsea are certainties.
Certainties, Paul. Chelsea to win to 0 is 7-10, Paul. They don't concede, so that looks the right play in that game.
Okay, then. We've spoken about Leeds. Do you concur with Steve?
Yeah, it should be, Paul. The only thing is it's a local derby. Sheffield United haven't got much left to play for, bar bragging rights in the Yorkshire derby.
Have they got caretaker in charge?
Yeah, Paul Heckingbottom. He'll be there till the end of the season, so they say.
What's his name?
Heckingbottom. He was at Hibs and so on. He's through under 23 team, so he'll take the team. Obviously,
Leicester got it all to do at nearly 5-1.
Paul, I just
at home,
don't
nearly
see it.
5-1, Budge.
If Madison's got to be close to being fit. You know, so if he comes back,
The key
he's
is
got a
only get
chance.
injured when they go away to play for their countries.
Well, you know, Vardy's still there. I would say OnsideSA was brilliant for Turkey
How
until
about
the last
that
game.
midfielder who plays for Belgium? He's a good young
Yeah,
player.
Tielemans.
Yeah.
He played against the Czech Republic. Nice player.
And Man City have got to send players all over
They're
the world.
all over the world, Paul. But they got 20, 23, 24 players that could start.
They're like Morris V. Okay, but
Well, should be Man City all day, even though Leicester should score. But I think I saw it was like 18-10, Man City to win, both teams to score. So that would be my play in that
now
game.
the great pretenders are playing the champions.
Well,
How do
Liverpool
you see
are
it?
far better away from home than at home.
Do we take 12 to 10?
No, I'd
Stevie
back the
B's
draw
not.
at 26-10. I think the
26.
draw's a big player in that game.
Okay, so then to Burnley, you said it's an interesting
Yeah, I
game.
like
Why?
Burnley, Paul. You know, Southampton have lost 10 of the last 12 league games. Everyone says how well they're doing. They've only beat Sheffield United away. The rest have been struggling.
Yeah.
You know, Burnley, Paul,
Have a
are
go.
a difficult team. They've got a lot more ball players now.
Dwight.
Dwight McNeil, good player. They'll
Good
be fit
player.
and fresh. And Paul, I saw 8-10 win and draw Burnley. That's my value bet of the weekend. 27-10. Burnley.
Okay, lovely. Let's have a look at Newcastle Spurs. Spurs, without bringing my loyalties in, should be too strong.
Well, Newcastle, one of the worst Premier side teams I've seen in a long time. The only thing is maybe St Martin comes
He
back.
can play.
And, you know, Dwight, the other young centre forward who's a good player. If they come back, they've got a chance. If not, Spurs will murder them.
Mourinho has put a lot of pressure on his backs.
Yeah,
He said, I've got so many of you. We time to cull.
yeah.
Show me you can play. So I don't know which starting lineup he might throw. I think Oliveira will start probably with Sanchez.
Yeah.
I think we'll start with them. Who's going to play right back?
Well, the left back has to be the Spaniard. The
Has to
right
be
back,
regular,
he loves Aurier.
Yeah, there's Uria. He didn't play Doherty the other day. And then there's Tangay.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's not bad.
Good player. We should beat them.
Paul, 16-10 Spurs to win by more than one goal. I'll have a few rand on that. I just can't have
I'll have
Newcastle.
a few rand on that. Me too, I can't.
Can't
Now,
have
Aston Villa, Fulham, as you say, haven't lost an 8 away. Aston Villa have gone through a shaky patch. They've got players.
Well, Jack Grealish comes back fit. Well, he will be fit, but how's the foot? I think that's what he injured. If he's at his best, Aston Villa should win. But I've got my doubts. Been out a long time. And Fulham are playing well. Paul.
And if they throw in Mitrovic up front, you know, Lookman and them get a bit of service up to him.
Paul, it's just hard to see it, but I'm funking for Fulham. But I think it draws the best result they'll get. You know, Watkins will be buzzing. They've got players. Aston Villa.
Man United, Brighton a team that have stretched the top boys with their ability.
Yeah.
And Man United have a very good team, but they've also flattered to deceive, Budge.
Paul, I don't know if you can remember the first game. Bruno got a penalty in the 97th minute. They hit the bar 6 times, Brighton.
Yeah, that's right.
Paul, they're a dangerous
This game's
team.
on. There's some very good
on.
games. For the last one standing, a lot of people could be in the trenches early.
Paul, it's difficult. The guys that have gone 7 rounds, obviously. But first time up, I think, well, to me, it looks fairly simple. But yeah, Man United, Paul, obviously we've got to fund because I want United to come second. Should win, but Paul, I can't put them in my bets.
Okay. Right, the next one I want to look at is Everton Palace.
It should be, Paul, but
Palace going through the motions a little.
yeah, but Zaha's back and he comes back. They're a different team. Only Spurs have beat them in the last 5 games. You beat them 4-0.
Yeah.
4-1 and Benteke scored the header. But they're a funny team, Paul. And Everton at Goodison hardly win. They've lost 4 of the last 5. Newcastle beat them there.
Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe it's the crowd, Paul. Those scouts, I've been to Goodison Park and there's some support they've got. They should win, Paul. But if Wilfried Zaha's back in form,
Wolves,
be
West
careful.
Ham?
Paul, I like West Ham. I like what I've seen.
You know, I was with Colin Gordon, who's
Okay. The Wolves man.
I realised it. They beat Man United one day,
Yes.
and the next day he was interviewing his horse one. He was wearing a Wolves shirt, and
Good luck to him.
yeah, he's a heavy Wolves man. But I was speaking to him yesterday about his team, and he said to me, "Until we get our big striker back,
Until you go, that's the
Jimenez,
problem. A lot of youngsters up front, Paul, but
yeah, they're not good enough at the
I
moment.
just think West Ham are tailor-made to beat them.
Yeah, West Ham.
Yeah, they're playing well. Mikel Antonio didn't play for England. He'll be fit and firing.
Who didn't play for England?
Mikel Antonio, the big centre forward.
Is he English?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
he's had a couple of weeks to rest. They'll be fired up Monday night.
They've got a few strikers now, England. Don't they? Does Watkins get a run?
Yeah, he scored against San Marino.
Calvert-Lewin's a good player. You got.
But Paul, it's a big step up to when you're playing the Belgiums and the real top teams. You only got Harry Kane and Sterling.
I remember speaking to John Barnes about it, and I said, John, Liverpool is such a good side. He said, yeah. I said, but when we step from Liverpool to England, he said there's a great divide.
Yeah,
said,
they can all play internationally.
When
Paul.
you go against an international team, they're all brilliant, you know. So you just got to be better.
And it's the best of the best. With the
Yeah.
club, if you've got money, you
Yeah.
can handpick your players.
That's
but
right, yeah.
internationally, you can't.
Nothing. Okay. Right, let's go on the championship, Budge.
Yeah, Paul, it's Friday, so we've got something to watch tomorrow.
Friday, 4 o'clock, okay.
Yeah.
Millwall, Rotherham.
Yeah, I like Millwall. You know, Rotherham have spooked me a few times, especially away from home. They've got more points away from home than at home. But Millwall at the Den, they don't get beat too often. I don't expect that to happen there. Millwall
Your
for
beloved
me.
Preston struggling.
Paul, the only thing in our favour is Timo Pukki, the Norwich City striker, has been playing for Finland in all the games. And because it's Friday, hopefully he's on the bench or he hasn't recovered. Paul, Norwich are a division ahead of the championship sides, and that includes Preston. I won't be taking 7 to 10 Norwich, but I wouldn't blame you for taking.
But
They
these
should be
guys
too
up there
good.
trying to consolidate a natural promotion.
Yeah,
so
they want
get the
automatic.
top-
Paul, you don't want the
that's the word I'm
playoffs.
looking for.
And they're well cleared, Norwich, so hopefully they donate a point to Preston. We've got a new manager.
So, but what are you just in limbo in the middle?
Paul, we're hanging on. We're about 6 points above the relegation.
as
We've had a
bad as
terrible
that.
run, 1 in 9. You know, this should be 1 in 10. I don't see us winning there.
Okay, how about QPR?
Yeah,
Good
I
things?
like QPR,
Me
but I've
too.
never caught them, Paul. Every time I've been with them, but I do like them. You know, Coventry, Mark Robbins' team, they play good football, but they hardly seem to win.
Yeah.
So I like QPR, Paul.
Watford 5 to 10 to be Wednesday.
Yeah, they should do, Paul. But yeah, Sheffield Wednesday beat Barnsley away in the Yorkshire Derby last time. 2-0. It was on ESPN. I saw the highlights. New manager's gone in there, done a good job, but it should be Watford all day long, Paul.
Okay. Bournemouth.
Well, that's Steve's banker for the day. I don't blame him. You know, I'm really disappointed. The only game I really liked, what I saw was when they beat Watford 1-0 at home. It was physical, and the tackles were flying, and they stood up for once.
Yeah.
But I watched them in another game. They were invisible. They got beat 4-0.
I watched them in a cup match the other day.
Yeah, it was
Well,
against Southampton.
Yeah.
They were never in it.
Never in
but,
it.
you know, Middlesbrough, Neil Warnock, one thing about his team, they're on the edges of promotion or promotion playoff place. This won't be easy, Paul. Both teams to score is my play in that game. I wouldn't be taking the win, but obviously they are the better team.
Stoke City favourite away from home.
Paul, they haven't won. I think it's 12 away games. They haven't won.
They're close to playoffs.
Yeah, they're right there
They
as
get
well.
they get a couple of wins. They get into scrum.
Bristol City away from home. I don't think they've lost in 4. They've lost the last 7 at home. Nigel Pearson.
What
I
is
couldn't
going
believe
on?
it.
What is going
I
on?
backed them the last time they played.
Everton, Bristol City. These teams who play at home.
Liverpool. 2 draws and 6 defeats in the last 8. So I don't know what's gone on, Paul, but I'd have to back the draw there, Paul. That would be the only suggestion in that game. 2.
Okay.
And Cardiff, I like Cardiff, Paul. I had an outside better than to get not automatic, to get in the playoffs and to come up. Yeah, they really beat Swansea. I didn't fancy them. I went both teams to score, but they totally outfought them. Notts Forest, good footballing team. That's your man, Chris Hughton, Spurs boy.
Defensive Chris Hughton.
Paul, if Cardiff have got to get me in the playoffs anyway, they've got to get a result.
Hughton was a good player.
Yeah,
For
played
Ireland.
left back, yeah.
Yeah, for Spurs and Ireland, he was a good man.
Yeah, looks
Very,
a nice guy,
very,
Paul.
very well liked.
But,
Derby County, Rooney.
Paul, they're slowly edging
Slipping.
towards the relegation
They are
zone.
slipping, yeah.
And Luton have come well. Only thing is, they don't get beat too often at home, Derby. So Derby in the draw for me there.
Where did they play? Pride Park, no?
Pride Park.
Pride
That was the
What
baseball
was
ground.
The baseball ground, that's right. I remember Todd and all those boys.
and some
They were
good
great.
players.
Some very good players.
Well, Brian Clough, they won the league. Remember
That's
he
right.
was there.
Wickham, Blackburn.
Paul, you know, Wickham's last game they drew at Norwich. Came back, got a deserved point. Wickham Paul, it's a terrible ground. It's bumpy, it's mud and slush. I saw them beat Preston. If Blackburn are up to it, Paul, 9 to 10 looks a gift. But they're just hard to trust, Blackburn. So both teams to score would be my play in that game. You know, Barnsley, Reading, you won't believe it.
Reading are 6th.
And
But
Barnsley are 5th.
Yeah, but Barnsley 5th.
Yeah.
But Reading have got people snapping at them. This is a very important. Reading cannot come away with a loss.
Well, Barnsley had won 9 and drawn 1 of the last 10 league games. And they were cock-a-hoop against the Sheffield Wednesday team who was second bottom. They got beat 2-0 fair and square. This is a tough test for Barnsley. You know, Reading, of the 2 teams, I like Reading of the 2 teams, Paul, but
Okay.
Draw's obviously got a massive player in that particular game.
Swansea a favourite?
Paul, I didn't like what I've seen the last 2 games with Swansea. Yeah, Birmingham City never won at home.
Another team.
Another team can't win at home. So the draw will be the best. So be drawing Swansea for me there too, Paul.
Brentford have to win.
Got to win, Paul. Every time I've gone against Huddersfield have buried me. So, but I just don't see it this time. Ivan Toney on form. Saturday lunchtime, so he'll be on the box. Should be Brentford all day. And if they want automatic promotion, Paul, this is a must-win.
Okay. All right. But now let's go down to our PSL fixtures. Funny enough, I met up with Jessica Mataong, at a function yesterday. She's getting involved with racing, she's taking some shares. Lovely lady, really smart lady.
See, she's intelligent. Is she
smart.
a lawyer?
I don't know her degree in that, but she's smart, she's intelligent, she's erudite, and she's getting involved with the Racing Association as well. So wonderful, wonderful lady. So it's good to have her involved in racing in a form, but she's massive in football.
Yeah.
It's Kaiser Chiefs, eh?
Yeah. Well, they're involved in the CAF this weekend. Pirates, Chiefs and Sundowns. So
All 3 of them?
All 3 of them, yeah. Because they're in the group stage. They've got to get a result, Chiefs.
But just to me, while I've got you on tech, what has happened to Bafana?
Paul.
People blaming the coach, people blaming the... Neil Tovey wrote quite an interesting article.
What did Neil say?
He said, hey, players must stand up. It's all good and well burying the coaches. And then it goes back to Danny Jordan. People have got different opinions here.
Paul, at the end of the day, it's the players.
Yeah, same as Tovey.
I just think, we've seen it. It starts at the development and it works all the way through junior football and then under 19, 21, and it works all the way through. How much more money can they put into it? The players are getting a lot of money. It has to be the players.
Yeah.
It's like last night blaming Gareth Southgate for Stones' mistake.
That's right.
That's how they're going to play. He plays that way for Man City. He makes a mistake. Own it.
Yeah, own it. You're right.
You can blame the coach, but we should have had a full go against Ghana on the Thursday.
We're in our lowest ebb for a long time.
A long time, Paul. But how many players have we got playing overseas? That sums it up. We only got Percy Tab Brighton, and he's not a regular in the team.
Yeah,
you start going through the players. Who have we got?
Yeah.
That's the reality of it, and it's not like you can blame...
Do you know what type of teams are beating us? Teams when Clive Barker and Neil Tovey
we wouldn't have played them.
Fish. Yeah, wouldn't have played them. You're right. We wouldn't have played them. Yeah. All right, sorry to digress there. Morocco Swallows, Golden Arrows.
Well, I like Arrows. Arrows are second. Swallows have only won one of the last 10. They've drawn 8 of them. Yeah, they had a great start. They slowly went to top. Now they're 6, I think it is. It's got a draw written all over it, but of the 2 teams, I like Arrows. I don't see Arrows losing there, Paul.
Cape Town City at home.
Cape Town City always have a go, Paul. They're great to watch. There'll be goals in this game. I don't see Cape Town City getting beat, but Baraka are a funny team, Paul. They play at home, another team. Don't get too many results. And the last time they got a result, they beat Stellenbosch 4-2 in Cape Town. So there'll be goals in that game, Paul, but win and draw Cape Town City.
Marisburg, Chipper, good chance for Marisburg?
Yeah, this, Paul, should be. They're 14th now, but Chipper also a team.
How many teams in the league?
16. Chipper at home have been terrible. I've watched a few of their games. They play, I think it's in PE. But away from home, of the last 5, they've only lost 1, and that was to Sundowns.
Yeah.
So another game where the draw written all over it, but we're funking for the local boys, Paul. So Maritzburg and a draw. I think there'll be goals because they've both got to start going for it.
Black Leopards?
Paul, they're terrible. They tailed off. And Benny's done a great job. They've won 7 and drawn 1 of the last 8. They're good to watch, Amazulu.
I tell you what, Heba Osutu.
Benny's got to be in line for the Bafana job. Paul, 11 to 10. It's just difficult after the international break, but I don't see Amazulu losing that, Paul. Amazulu
How many players from Amazulu would play international? Well, they play for other countries.
But they play for other countries.
Yeah, of course. And Bloom Celtic against
Paul, I
Galaxy.
think this is... I took a chance in our bet PSL. This has got draw written all over it. Celtic never lose in Bloemfontein, and TS Galaxy is the old Highlands Power team. Highlands Park, should I say. Owen de Gama, well organised. They don't give much away. This looks a dinkum 0-0.
Talking about that from President up there, passed away yesterday, Derek Orb.
The bookmaker.
Bookmaker, very, very good footballer with the Ricky Flynn and his
he was mates, with Gaza.
Yes, that's
Joburg.
right. So condolences go out to his family and friends. Shame. Was a very nice guy, very good bookmaking, a racing man, a very good footballer. Had a couple of run-outs for Morris.
Well, I remember we had a few drinks, went to his total. Remember Man United played Chelsea. Went up with Swiveller came out. We went to his pub, we spent the afternoon with him. Really nice man.
Not that old, eh?
Shame.
Derek Orb. So...
condolences,
rest in peace, friend. Right, let's go on to Soccer 6.
Paul, the first one is the Gold Circle one. Kicks off with, I think Chelsea will be too good for West Brom. I'm throwing the draw in with Huddersfield and Brentford. I don't see Brentford losing to Huddersfield. I'm going Leeds United to beat Sheffield United. I think they're good things. I'm throwing the draw in with the Man City, Leicester City. I'm going the field in the Bayern Munich RB Leipzig clash purely because Lewandowski's injured. He's going to miss the Champions League. He didn't play for Poland last night. So Leipzig have a chance to upset them. And I'm going the field in the Arsenal-Liverpool game. 2-1-6.
Okay, let's go to the next
The second one, see PSL English one. I don't see Golden Arrows losing at Morocco Swallows, so it's 2-3 there. I'm banking Leeds to beat Sheffield United. I'm going Cape Town City to avoid defeat at home against Baraka. Likewise, Maritzburg United. I don't see them losing to Chipper United. I've got Man City win and draw at Leicester.
So you're giving Leicester the draw, eh?
I'm throwing the draw in too, because Man City don't really need to win, Paul. I think the league's over. And I think this is going to be a tight game, Liverpool-Arsenal, Paul. Draw 26-10 is a player for me. So it's Liverpool in the draw, 192.
The 10.
On to the Gold Circle,
one of ours,
10. It's one of ours, yeah. You know, I'm banking Chelsea to beat West Brom. I had to find a few more bankers, so I'm chancing Brentford to win at Huddersfield Town. I'm going the field in the Borussia Dortmund Eintracht Frankfurt game. I'm banking Leeds United to beat Sheffield United. I think Real Madrid will be too good for Arba. The second page, I'm going Paris Saint-Germain in the draw, top of the league clash against Lille. I don't trust Juventus anymore. I mean, real disappointed how they're playing. So I'm going Juventus win and draw in the Turin derby against Torino. I'm going Man City win and draw at Leicester. I'm going Bayern Munich win and draw at RB Leipzig. And the field in the Arsenal-Liverpool fixture, 288.
Okie dokie.
On to the 13. It's a bit of a mix and match one. I've gone Liverpool win and draw at Arsenal. I'm banking Leeds to beat Sheffield United. Man City to beat Leicester. Juventus to beat Torino. Inter Milan to beat Bologna, and Paris Saint-Germain to beat Lille. I'm going Olympique Lyonnais, win and draw at Lens. On to the second page, I'm going Osasuna, win and draw against Getafe. I'm banking Real Madrid to beat Eibar. In the Spanish League Cup, I'm going Real Sociedad, win and draw against Athletic Bilbao. I'm going Bayern Munich, win or draw against RB Leipzig. I don't trust Borussia Mönchengladbach since they got rid of their manager, so I've thrown the draw in with them against Freiburg. And in the Netherlands, Eredivisie, I'm going Vitesse Arnhem, win and draw against FC 2256. You can see, Paul, with all the championship games on a Friday, it's thrown all the pools out, especially the soccer 13 of the Swedes.
All internationals are over now?
Yeah.
Okay. When will they start again? A few weeks' time?
No, well, the Euros, Paul, I think are in May. So
May?
Euro 2020, the finals.
Okay, let me go look the best part of the show.
Yeah, Paul, we go to our bets. I'm going Chelsea to beat West Brom, and Newcastle to beat Tottenham to beat Newcastle. Sorry, by more than one goal. So they both got to win by more than one goal. I'm going Burnley to win or draw at Southampton, and I fancy West Ham to win on Monday night against Wolves, 3,800 to 200. On to the Championship.
I'm going Championship treble. Where did that go?
Kunu must be one of his losing bets from yesterday.
Yeah, go no.
Anyway, I'm going Millwall to beat Rotherham. I'm going QPR to beat Coventry. I'm going Brentford to beat Huddersfield. And all the games have over 1.5 total goals. So it worked out at 16-1. If you just want the treble, it works out just under 8-1.
Okay.
I thought a little bit of value because I think there'll be goals in the championship games tomorrow. So
right,
16-1
goals only. Come on, this is the interesting budge.
Paul, I thought there was some great value. Obviously, the guys are getting wise and they shave the top teams.
Could we go to the next slide?
But our team goals only, I'm going Burnley, Tottenham, and West Ham all to score over 1.5 goals. So they've all got to score 2 goals a minimum. Burnley.
I have one criticism of that, but Burnley are not prolific scorers.
Yeah, but they're good with set pieces, Paul, and Southampton aren't.
Yeah, but that's a factor. I just think they never score enough. They had a good one the other day, but they never score enough. Spurs can knock them up.
Spurs will score 2 against Newcastle. I just think West Ham are tailor-made. That Wolves team, Paul, I can't have them. They are dangerous in the second half. But, Paul, 14-1, 3 teams. I know Burnley was a sweat. That was 22-10. But I've got a funny feeling this is their weekend. So 2,800 to 200 was our play. Right. Both teams to score. I went with 4 because the odds were quite decent this weekend. I went Leicester, Man City.
Man City never concede.
Leicester always. Vardy always scores against them.
Okay.
Even if it's 4-1, 5-1, he always scores. It was 5-2 the first game, remember.
Arsenal, Liverpool I can have.
Okay. Aston Villa, Fulham.
Yeah.
Mitrovic will score, that's guaranteed. And Everton, Crystal Palace. Everton at home, Paul, lost 4-5. The battle has scored home, let alone keep a clean sheet. So 11-1, Paul, I thought it was worth an interest, 2,200. On to our PSL quadrant, as your mate calls it. I'm going Golden Arrows, win or draw against Morocco Swallows. Both teams to score in Cape Town City Barocca and Maritzburg Chipper United games. And I'm going for the draw in the 18-10 Bloemfontein Celtic TS Galaxy game. 16-1, Paul, 3,300 to 200, just a little bit better. I think that's got draw written all over it, Paul, 17-10. And our Collis King 6 on Exa. I'm going Chelsea to beat West Brom, Tottenham to beat Newcastle, Watford to beat Sheffield Wednesday, Brentford to beat Huddersfield Town, Napoli to beat Croton, that's Pythagoras' team Croton, and Levante to be too good for Huesca tomorrow, 14-1, 2,800 to 200.
Gee, very interesting. Budge, a lot of football coming up. It's Easter weekend.
Yeah.
The key is reminding people, Budge,
Now,
about
Paul, it
last
all
week's
gets
thing.
sent out once the clip goes to everybody. Quite a nice early response, but
You want to get onto the cases for them for the
There's
last
no
one
doubt.
standing. Last chance have bragging rights this year.
well, it is, Paul. The next kickoff will be end of August. So if you're not in this time, you've got to wait 6 months till the end of August.
Alrighty, until next time, stay on side.